Hello, everyone. Live from New York. It's
Victoria.
Victoria's podcast.
Thank you. It's Wife's a Bitch podcast. Welcome to Wife's a Bitch podcast with my beautiful friend and very funny friend, Dominika van Santen.
High five for that.
Yeah.
What a great introduction.
And that's a lethal weapon when you are beautiful and funny. That's to me a double threat. And I think that's an amazing quality to have those two things because you can't always rely on your looks and you can't always rely on being funny. Like some of those things not sustainable. You have to make sure that those two things, keep you going. And some people do rely on their looks, and then their looks go away, and they have nothing.
You can't rely on your looks. Like for me, looks is nice. Like we want to look at pretty things. We go to museums to look at things. That's okay. But that's more of a bonus for me.
Yeah.
Like for like
You ahead
great.
in life.
For me, it's like intelligence. That's attractive to me.
Right.
Intelligence.
Well, that's because you're pretty. But say the phrase. No,
I love like a hyena. Get ready. Okay.
You laugh at all my jokes. That's great. That's why I
You're
like
funny.
having.
You're funny.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're funny too. But here's the thing with the whole I don't know if you grew up very pretty. Were you very pretty as a child? Or did you have to rely on a little bit of a
No, I
personality?
never relied on looks. I actually quite the opposite. I've had to learn that sometimes people look at me a certain way and they carry their journey through me by how I look. And for me, I'm like connecting with the soul, with personality. And then I've had to learn people sometimes they don't have the best intention.
Uh-huh.
And I've had to learn. It's like, hold on a second. Like I am portraying something to certain people
Uh-huh.
because they're into looks. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm so this is the best way to explain how I see planet Earth, how I see society, how I see people.
Hmm.
We are all floating souls.
Okay.
Like what I see, like humans like walking here and there, like it's just like a costume. That
Okay.
great, thank you. I can see you, but for me, it's like I feel people.
Oh, okay.
That is my
So you
connection
see
to
their soul.
humanity.
You see their soul before you see their outside.
Oh, for
Okay.
sure.
Even in the beginning, even out right away, and your first judgment call is
Energy,
really.
energy immediately. There is something,
That's amazing because
Girl
in
energy.
life, I really believe because there's so much vanity in this world that people do look at looks first and it gives them a head start. I'm not going to lie. They do have a way in the door because they're good looking. And that's the way the world is, society is. That's just because fashion has become so, poignant. Celebrity has become very, very high in this world. So that's the pyramid, I think, at the top. It starts with what do we see? What's our visual? I mean, I would love to look through the eyes in a way of, so to speak, a blind person, because I went to the Blind Museum in Israel. I don't know if you've
Oh,
heard about this
wow!
place.
No, tell me
Yeah.
about it.
So
I love museums.
yeah. So everything's in the dark, and you walk around trying to go to the market and try to pick out fruit, and you're doing all of this in the dark. And who guides you is somebody who's very trained, who's a blind person. So
Wow.
he feels energy. I mean, this is a real energy, and you could even try this at home. Like, in the middle of the night, sometimes I don't like to turn on the lights, so I just like to feel
I will
things.
end up with a lot of bruises this morning.
Do get a feel for it. I think it was my introduction to this was like Little House on the Prairie when Mary, her character, goes blind, and I was like, imagine, you have your sight and then you go blind. How do you survive in your world? And I know some comedians that are blind and they really do survive. They listen to their Instagram and their phone. They listen and they learn things in a different way, and it's another whole language.
Yeah.
So I believe that in energy also. I also believe in a very big balance. So if somebody is pretty, don't get too caught up in that. And if somebody's really, really high energy, don't get too caught up in that. There's sometimes it has to be a balance with everything that they're doing. And also, you don't know if somebody got enough sleep the night before or the whole week. You don't know if somebody's taking care of themselves. And I wrote a book called Impress Yourself. I'll give you a copy.
Ooh,
And
I love books.
thank you. And what happens is I write about the ways that you could take care of yourself.
Mm.
There's like 8 pillars of health that I talk about that people
Ooh.
don't think about. They just don't think they need it. And one of the pillars of health is laughter. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize how important it
Yes.
is. I seek laughter out. I look for laughter.
Love this body language. And if I may add, like, to that, intuition. Intuition.
Yes,
And
yes.
they always say, oh, women have better intuition than men. I'm like, maybe it's true, but men do have intuition as well.
Hmm.
It's just like society doesn't like nurture that. Men have intuition as well.
You have to tune in.
Everyone has like walked into a place and it's like there is a feeling, or you have talked to someone and it's like you don't know what it is. Your body tells you a lot. Actually, I've been reading. I love reading books. I'm reading "The Body Keeps the Score," magnificent book, bestseller. And the body tells you things before you even know, before you even process
Yeah,
them.
that makes sense.
Once you and if you remember anything about this podcast, like
I agree.
as you go on with life, if your body is aching, nervous, there's something somewhere in your body,
Yeah.
there's something going on that you may not know yet, that you will find out.
That's interesting because I talk about body language a lot. It's a lost art. I grew up without social media. I grew up without a phone, and I had to learn signs from people's faces. In fact, I used to talk on the phone, and my stepfather, very wise man, said, "Get out of the house and meet them in person. Don't talk to
Yeah.
them on the phone. That's not where you want to be with this person because you want to see the signals and the signs.
Mhm.
Of course, you have to get good at hearing body language too. I mean, their language and their voice. But body language is another. It's a lost art, and you
Yeah.
can learn so much from it. You're ahead of the
Yeah.
game if you know how to read people.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're really ahead of the game, if you could read their body language with their
Mhm.
personality, because they're hiding a lot of things. There's a lot of people that could fake it, and their body's not faking.
And you know what's the trick? Like you said, like some people, maybe you didn't get enough sleep or
Right.
whatever. Sure, things happen. But what tells you is consistency.
Yes.
Then you can get a better grasp of
That's why I
who the person
say
is.
that you need to get to know somebody for 4 seasons. You have to go through all seasons with someone. You have to go through trauma with people, really see how they react to things, how they
Communicate.
deal with things.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see, how they deal with people, how they deal with things, not just with you. They could put on a whole act. A lot of people are actors and they're good at it. But you can't act after a certain amount of
Yeah.
time. After
Impossible.
time shows you a lot.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah.
shows you a lot.
Time.
So I want to ask you, how did you get into comedy?
What a transition. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, life sucks. So tell me the funniest joke ever.
No, but this podcast is a lot of things. It's an organic, traveling through relationships and things like that. I don't know if you've done
And it has gummy bears. So it's
They're
a safe
organic.
podcast. Is it organic?
Yes, and those who don't know anything about me,
Okay.
I was married. I am married for almost 26 years,
Whoa.
and my husband wanted to divorce me twice. And we got back together
Is that in the
twice.
book? Is
Yes,
that in
it's all in the book.
Oh my
And I'm writing a book now about relationships. And I
God.
have some
Whoa.
podcasts on here that I just talk solo without interviewing anybody. And I really get into it. But I just want to surfacely tell you now, even on the Instagram live that you have on, that I'm sorry we can't read any comments because it's
Yeah,
so
I
far
can't see.
away. But you can answer them later. But I have the best last 20 after the last 6 years has been the best of our lives.
Yeah.
I got my husband back twice. I also had to admit that there were things that I did that were contributing to him wanting to leave. And a lot of women don't do that. A lot of women have a hard time accepting that they're part of the problem. And you have to be vulnerable. And it's okay to be vulnerable.
Mm,
It's okay to admit that you're wrong and
mm.
really seek it and see inside yourself, what did I do to contribute? Because that doesn't happen out of nowhere. He loved you in the first place. So what happened? You have to start seeing and ask them, what was it? What is it that you don't like? Maybe I can change it. And
I,
be
th-
willing to change it.
I think
And I
definitely
did.
a huge part of uh having a healthy relationship is communicate,
Yeah.
because everyone will come with things. Everyone has gone through trauma. Everyone is healing trauma,
Yeah.
but communication, like honest communication,
Mhm.
creates a safe space to deal with everyone's baggage like together and
Yes.
healing together and
Yeah.
going
And
through
growing
life
together.
together.
Yeah, growing together.
Growing, that's a big one. Like if somebody is growing and the other person stays stagnant,
Yes.
that is hard,
Yeah.
because
The first
life,
thing.
I mean, you're not the same as 5 years ago. Think about yourself, like yourself when you were 16, 24. Like your mindset changes, you keep growing. So imagine
Absolutely.
wanting to have a relationship for the rest of your life. It's you got to be able to navigate
Yeah.
things
Well,
together
my
and going
husband's
through
younger than I am. My
yeah.
husband is he was only 22 when I married him and I was 28, 29.
Okay.
And but here's the thing. He was still growing in a lot of ways and I was, already where I wanted to be. I wanted a family right away and I was almost 30. And he was still growing. He was still finding himself and even now he's 47 and he just climbed Mount Everest. And that's
Like for
tough.
real or
Yeah, yeah. No,
metaphorically?
I know that some people think it's a
He
metaphor.
went to the mountain called Everest and he climbed it.
Yes. Yes. He went to the top of Mount Everest to the summit and he came back down. Yes. Yes. I know it's a crazy feat.
Things Dominika will never do.
Things that I'll never do and I'll never understand, but it takes a month. It takes a month. I mean, I didn't know if he was climbing Mount Everest or if he was mounting a girl.
Oh, Everest.
I said, why don't you climb these mountains, baby? 10K a month, but not 70,000.
I could ask you a few things, but it's this is PG.
Ask me anything you want. You could just, yes.
It's only 2 o'clock. No, what 2 o'clock? In New York, baby. Hey, by the way, I have a show tonight
Yeah.
at
Well,
West Side Comedy.
yes.
We have a show tonight
Yeah.
at West Side Comedy Theater at 9 o'clock. Red carpet is at 8 p.m. Come, bring your friends, tell your friends. It's a super
By the time this podcast come out, it's already too late. But
Oh,
you catch
the
it
life.
next time.
Yeah,
But
models of comedy.
yeah, Models of Comedy, brought to you by Eugenia Kuzmina and Barry Katz, actually.
Yeah.
That's, who's a good friend of mine. But
Mhm.
I have to say, when we're talking about, backgrounds and stuff like that, people want to know about your credibility and what you've done to get to where you are. And so, because I've had the experiences I've had, and the first thing I say in my new book about relationships called "Wife's a Bitch" is,
So poetic.
thank you. If you're not, if you're not going to take care of yourself, and if you really don't care about how you take care of yourself, hygienically, emotionally, physically, then my book's not for you. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you're not ready for a relationship, and that's not fair to anybody else. And I will always say this in every podcast. I say the game doesn't stop when you get married; it actually begins. The dating's the easy part. That's the courting. The hard part. The hard part is the marriage.
That's a real
Because
life.
after I got married, he got so relaxed. And then I got so relaxed. Sweatshirts, sweatpants. What is this? Then we moved to Hawaii and I was in a
Yeah.
bikini all day. And he's like, oh, you have a body? You have an actual body?
But like
Take care of
a
yourself.
relationship should be like there are different stages. There are things that people go through, like
That doesn't
right?
take care of himself. So why should
Yeah.
you take care of yourself?
No, and like that's like not just relationships, like life. Don't you want to have fun? Don't you want to look good? Don't you want to be healthy? Like I'm in the mindset of living a healthy life.
Yeah.
Already life can be stressful enough. I mean, I do comedy to heal myself and heal other people at least for a few minutes. So yeah, I forgot what I was
She
saying.
has a gummy bear.
Yeah, I was waiting for this. I would.
Chew away. Have some more.
Oh, can I chew next to the mic?
Whatever you want to do. Here, cheers.
Okay. It's just not.
It's
This is a non-alcohol.
It's a not. It's
Oh my God, we're like thinking the same thing. Haven't you noticed since I arrived here?
By the way, this is not an edible. This is not.
Oh
one
my
of
God, you
those-
scared me. I thought
It's
you were gonna
not.
say it's an edible, and I
No.
ate one when she wasn't here.
Oh, I would never do that.
Oh my
Never
God.
judge somebody without telling them. Those are organic
Okay.
gummy bears. Anyway, there's
Life is good.
Catherine Zeta Jones.
Oh,
I always said that when I met you. I
thank
said that.
you. Thank you.
Mm.
Oh,
But I've seen your comedy, and you're very funny.
you are too. You are too.
Yeah.
You made me laugh.
Yeah, I
I
know.
love
I heard
comedy.
you in the video. Heard you
On the,
laughing in the video the whole time.
on the
In
video,
the
which one?
video of my comedy, I heard you in the
Oh,
background. You had the best laugh.
mm.
I was like, she can come to my shows anytime. So,
I didn't laugh like that before, you know?
Really?
Like, I laughed so hard.
I
And
bet
this is
you
what
did.
happens. This is a lesson in life, too. A few years ago, I don't remember when, it probably was like a whole transition, but I'm I'm more me. I decided to live as ex I don't know, expanded as possible. So laughter basically tells the world like I'm just gonna be as happy as possible. So the laughter just like comes out of my heart and lungs. So I don't have any barriers like, oh, I shouldn't laugh this hard. Oh, this person's gonna hear me. Oh my god, my laugh is like such like a hyena dying. Like no, just I go for it. And that's in life. Just go for what you want to do. Like don't care about what people say. Like
Everyone's
grow
thinking
yourself,
about
live a healthy
themselves.
life. Huh?
Everyone's thinking about themselves anyway. No one cares about what you're doing. So you could actually enjoy your life without thinking about the static that goes on in your head. You thinking other people are thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. They're
Everyone
thinking
is
about themselves.
and like like you said, balance, right? Like you
Always.
gotta think about you,
Yeah.
about your mindset, your brain, your heart, your soul, like things you wanna outgrow, things you wanna heal. Go like
Evolve
take care of you.
and evolve.
And then like as you're healthier, like you are gonna be better for the world, really, for people that you
Absolutely.
interact with.
Listen, they say that when you're on an airplane, you should take care of your oxygen mask before you take care of others. Because you can't take care of anybody if you don't take care of yourself.
You know what would be funny? If it's like, you know, you get the oxygen mask and it's like helium, and then everybody starts like screaming instead of ah.
They should do. They should do that. I don't know if helium will save your life on an airplane like that, but it's a good
It
idea.
would be really funny.
Yeah, it would be hilarious. So
That
she
should be
can't be
the
a flight attendant.
oh
'Cause
gosh, I
let me
couldn't.
see
No.
what would happen.
There's some jobs I couldn't do. Okay. I want to hear your three jobs that you couldn't do ever, ever. I couldn't be a pilot. I love airplanes, but I cannot be a pilot. I cannot be a like a diver. How do you call it? Like
Scuba
scuba
diving.
diver?
Yeah.
No way. And an astronaut.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah.
like
It's funny that you say that. I'm so
same
balanced
three.
because I went scuba diving and I went skydiving and I didn't like either of those. I love swimming on the ocean right here. I like staying right here, not too deep, not too high. I'm right here. I'll run, I'll hike a little bit, but that's where I'm at. I don't like heights and I don't like lows. I like right here. I'm very balanced that way, and that's my personality. That's funny you
Yeah,
say that.
you like
What other
balance, like,
jobs? Yeah.
but you have done it though. Like
I've done it.
that's
Yeah, I've done it.
okay to experience
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I did it. I
Sure, I'm
did it
sure
once
afraid.
and I didn't enjoy it.
You know what I can do? Like, because I have claustrophobia. I started a few years ago.
My mother has that.
Dude, like, I can't go on the simulators
Yeah,
from like
yeah,
for like galaxies, like
yeah.
to you're in on a star. Oh my God, I'm thinking in Spanish, like hola amigos. And like
I
the
speak Spanish, but I don't know what
I
you're saying.
can't like those simulators. Like I could like die right there. Like it's so scary to me.
Really?
It's crazy.
Wow.
People are like, yeah, like when I go to Disney, you know, there's like one of those rides, and I'm like, yeah,
I'm
like,
sure my mother has it too. She can't go on an MRI, I think.
oh, MRIs are so hard for me.
Yeah.
I've had to ask friends like hold my hand, like freaking pat me in the head.
Do you have like panic attacks thinking that God forbid you'll be buried alive or something like that?
Oh gosh, no, don't even. I don't can't talk about it. Like that's too heavy.
Do that. Anyway, it's fine. Whatever.
Comedy.
Sometimes people have dreams like that and they really
Oof. Yeah, I can't think about
yeah.
that. That's horrible.
Yeah. I think my biggest fear, anything with to do with fire. I can never be a firefighter.
Oh yeah.
I'm very water sign. I'm very
What's
much
your
I'm a
sign?
Pisces. I'm also
Okay.
a Taurus moon, if that makes any sense. But I really, truly am a water sign. I could live in the ocean. I lived in Hawaii for 7 years. I swam for hours at a time,
Yeah.
and there were sharks. There were tiger sharks. But my love for the water was so deep.
You were swimming while they were
Yeah,
there?
yeah. And they took off somebody's feet, but I still went back. And I would swim a mile out. A mile out. If you look
You
up the Mokulua
no.
Islands, yeah, and if you look up the Mokulua
Oh my
Islands,
God.
I'll show you a picture. It's
No way.
a mile out. But I didn't know this until,
That's
I don't know, a
crazy.
few weeks after, I mean, a few years in. But when I did it, I was loving my life. Like I
My
loved it
God. Well, you have
so much.
pictures and
Yeah,
everything. Is this you? Hawaii?
yeah.
Let's show it. Let's show it to, well, I don't know,
I don't think it's it, but
right
you
here
gotta
with
get the
a
book. You gotta get
seal.
the book. Yeah, the monk seal.
Ooh, okay.
But I would swim because the joy of swimming was so deep for me that I loved swimming so much that the risk was less than the reward for me. Yeah,
Wow,
so I
that's
did.
how
Yeah,
like
that's how
how
much I
good
loved
it
it.
felt.
Yeah.
Well, they say like if you're going through something really heavy, you're depressed, go and swim in the ocean.
Water. Let me tell
Water
you,
and
I prayed in the water and manifested things in the water that came true.
really?
Yes.
Can you share one or
Yeah, I said I'm going to be wealthy. I am going to be wealthy, and no one has to die to give me that money. And now it's true. My husband, I married him when he was broke. I married my husband when he was broke.
yeah?
Yeah, which is why he knows he still stays with me. I married him when he had no money, and now he has money, so I could divorce him for money. See how that works? No, but I stayed with him. But the truth is, look, when he wanted me back twice, I told him he had to date me. Can't just get
Mm,
me back. So that's
mm-hmm.
important too. You have to be a challenge. You have to have the chase. Even in your marriage. Don't let that fall apart. Never ever think, oh, I'm married. It's so relaxing.
You have to keep
No, you
dating.
have to
You
work
have
at
to
it.
keep dating.
And it's not dating. You don't have to have date night. What you have to do is just be a mystery. Don't be so predictable and don't be needy. Needy is the worst thing you could do to your marriage and also giving too much. Giving too much is a turn off for anybody, even in a friendship. It's too much. You have to have balance. It is so important.
Balance is good. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
important.
Travel together, like share life together. I think that's a big key.
Different interests. My husband loves the mountains. I love the water.
Okay. Yeah.
Which the mountain is always looking over at the water. It's always guiding. It's always
Oh,
watching me.
that's
I know in
nice.
Hawaii, the mountain was there, and now we have a house on the mountain in Hawaii. And my husband, looks at me from the top of the mountain, and
Oh.
I'm in the water, and he's there for me. He's my rock.
And he's on a
And that's
mountain.
what.
That's a rock. That's a big
Yeah.
rock.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, we don't have the same interests. He doesn't love comedy shows. In fact, I don't like when he comes to my comedy shows, not just because I'm making fun of him, but because he guides me in that also like he's a micromanager, like owns a business. So he's always like oh, that guy's funny, or that guy. I'm like, don't talk to me while I'm producing my show. Okay, just
But
sit back and relax. I
take me
can't
back
do it.
to manifesting. So you're in the water.
I don't
And
think
and
a
and
big
you just like
manifester unless I really know that if I visualize it.
uh-huh.
Visualizing something to me, even when I didn't know I was doing it, I ran an ultra marathon. I ran many ultra marathons, but when I
Okay.
trained for them, I visualized myself running through it and then going through the finish line. And I won
Mm.
first place in my 62-mile race.
How long did it take you for I know it depends, and I'm just curious about one of the things you manifested. Like how long did it take you from like visualizing you're in the water to achieving
And
that
this is
goal?
me and my husband separated. So I was like, well, I'm going to get back with my husband and I'm going to be wealthy.
You manifested that
Yes,
too
those
to
two.
get back to him?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, I actually said, if he's not meant for me, don't let him be. Let him be. Let him be.
Yeah.
If he's not meant for me, let him be. And I said, the best prayer I could think of ever is if the right people, somebody's calling you. It's okay. But if the right people are in your life,
Uh-huh.
here's the best prayer that I've had. Bring the right people in and let the wrong people out.
Mm,
Because they could be there
mhm.
for a season, they could be there for a day, they could be there for the rest of your life. You just don't know. And if somebody's not there for you and you don't know why they're not calling you back, and that's a gift from God because you made that prayer and you said, please let the ones go that are not right for me. You don't see what they're trying to do
Mm,
or their intentions. You don't see all that. But God sees it.
mm.
I believe in a
Power,
higher
yeah.
power,
Yeah.
with my creator. I'm very one with my creator. And
Mhm.
now what I'm doing now is I'm self-talking to myself better things than I used to. I used to think that was so bullshit. You know? Yeah, you talk to yourself. I'm talking to myself all day anyway. But why not say something nice? And now I'm my
Agree.
own best
I
friend.
agree. I
I'm my
agree.
own best. I
Yes.
love myself so
Yes.
much. I
Yes.
impress myself.
I love hearing you say that
It's
because
so true.
I'm in the same mentality. A few years ago, I do a lot of self growth always, my whole life, always, but definitely in the last few years, way more. I've achieved a certain level. I feel so much. I'm my own best friend. That's
Yes. Yeah.
so
Powerful. It's
amazing. You
powerful.
can still have great friends
Yeah.
around you, but like, You have
What did
to
I say here?
love yourself so hard, and they should teach this in school.
Here, read this. Stop waiting for approval.
So, can I do an accent or
Say
I have an
however
accent?
you want.
I don't have an accent.
It's okay.
Stop waiting for approval from others. When you're the one you live with 24/7. Sorry, I made it really creepy, but
When you live with yourself 24/7, you're with yourself the most.
it's gonna be Halloween, so I'm very excited. What are you doing for Halloween? I'm so
We
excited.
go to the village and we walk in the parade.
Oh, there's a
It's
parade.
fun. What do you do?
Oh my God. Okay, now I added something on my vision board. I want to be in New York for Halloween one day.
Okay.
Like at least
How
on
about
the
this
month of
year?
Halloween.
How about this year?
Well, I'm leaving on Thursday, so
Well,
but I'll be back.
yeah.
That's
So
like in between Arnold and creepy person. I don't know.
see, she's got a good personality. I've seen your videos on Instagram. They're very quirky. But
I,
that's good. It's good. It's good to be fun and just carefree.
are you gonna dress up for Halloween?
Yeah, I always do. I don't know.
What do you do? What are you gonna?
This year, I don't know what I'm going to be. One time, I was a doctor. I was a doctor with blood all over the
Oh,
doctor's
okay.
outfit, and
Okay.
like a
That's what you want
scary
to see.
like a scary doctor. And I held a the pomegranate juice in my hand,
Uh-huh.
and I had that. I was drinking that, and I was pouring it on my. It looked like blood.
I love Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole family loves Halloween. My husband is it's like his mecca of the
Oh,
year.
yeah?
My kids, they love it.
Do you like haunted houses?
I'm not a big fan anymore, but my
Okay.
kids like it. My kids love it. My husband loves it, but
I'm obsessed with it. I
yeah.
don't like scary films like I used to
No, I
like
don't
them.
watch a scary film anymore.
They're
Never watch those anymore.
if it's like suspense, sure, like okay, a good one, but yeah, I mean,
I like a murder mystery, but I don't like it's so funny
like
when people say, oh, a lot of women like true crime mysteries, like the real ones, real mysteries, and you see a lot of women also that like on the Lifetime Network, whatever, that they're killing their husbands. I'm like, why do you have to kill your husband? Why don't you just tell him he's really good at hiking and he'll climb Mount Everest and he'll do it himself?
I got a few ideas in my
Everest. Why don't you do K2 next time? That's harder. I think you could do it, honey.
or if you want I meant to like escape is like, hey, are you emotionally available?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. If you want to break up with a guy, tell him you want 10 of his babies.
Well,
Like that.
that depends. That depends.
No, if you they'll leave. Trust me. You tell them.
It could go the other way around too.
I don't know if any man wants 10 of your babies.
Well, a lot of women are now wanting to have kids now, actually.
Wanting to?
Not wanting
Not
to.
wanting to. I know
Yeah.
they're paying people in Japan to have kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're paying people
Like
in
with their
Japan.
eggs? Like how is that?
I don't know. I think they're even
Oh,
paying for
adopting.
them to go out and pay for dates and stuff like that because they want these people to produce because there's a shortage of people having
I don't,
kids.
you know, I
Because
don't.
people have a career now, and then
That's the
wake
thing.
up late, and they go, "Oh my God, I'm 40. I have a career, but now I want a kid." Well, it's too late now.
Or the opposite. Like a lot of women. I mean, if you put 2024 in perspective to the entire our entire existence, it's in the last few decades or years,
Yeah.
decades where like now we as women can have a job, can achieve something like bigger,
Yeah.
and it's still like
Feminism went too
stepping
far.
stones, you know.
Yeah, but feminism went a little too far. I think it went too far where it told women that you don't need a man, and I don't believe in that either. Unless you don't really want a man, unless you're a
That's
lesbian or you don't want a man,
balance.
whatever it is that you don't want, at least you know it. But know if you want a relationship, that there has to be a balance, and that sometimes the career is being married. That's a career, or looking for the man is a career. And I'll tell you, that was a big career move for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even go to bridal showers. I'm like, there's no men here. What am I doing?
Really?
I went to Home Depot. I went to all the places I
Oh my
didn't want
God,
to
tell
go.
me about like you would
Yeah,
select the places you would go
of
to.
course. I went to the places that I never went to before because I knew that's where men would be.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you go? Okay, Home Depot.
Home Depot, lunches near Wall Street. Like
Wow.
restaurants or
Okay.
bars near Wall
Uh-huh.
Street. Where the men are having power lunches or whatever like that. I would meet guys like that, and I mean, this was before there was online dating. There was no online dating when I
Right.
was
Yeah.
dating. And but then, I have to say I did have a separation period from my husband, so I know what it's like to date in the last
Mm.
10 years
Hmm.
because I
It's
did.
horrible.
Yeah, it
That's
is
a
hard.
haunted house by itself.
Yes. Yes, because there's so many options now on the dating websites. But I will say this, that it is more convenient, but there's more options, and that's a little bit scary too. So what is going to make you stand out from the other women and what is going to make him stand out from the other men? That's what you have to decide. So I think it's very good to decide what you want. It's very easy to say what you want. It's what you don't want that you should write
That's
down.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like I learned like uh, going through self growth is like, okay, I've made these mistakes. This happened to me. I had these experiences. What do I want? Boom, boom, boom. Right. Wrote it down, edited
Even if
it.
it's unrealistic,
And then
what don't you
I,
want?
yeah, a few years later, I'm like, you know what? You have to know what you don't want.
Yes.
That is
What you
as
won't
important,
tolerate, what you
like
won't
as
touch. Yeah,
important.
yes.
What you,
I think it's
you,
more important
I almost, yes, I agree.
because it's easy to
It's
want
so important.
everything. We want everything. We want it all. But
It's like,
what don't you want?
what doesn't also, there's a, like what you don't want, great, right? You need to know that for sure. But also, what doesn't work for you? Because it could be something for another person. But what doesn't work for you, Victoria? What doesn't work for me, Dominika? That's very important
Marriage
too.
is hard enough. I say stick to the same types of politics, religion, stuff like that. Those are important things, especially if you're going to have kids, because those things they're very hard to get around after you have an argument or something like that. That you're going to want to have more things in common that way. The big things, not the little things like my husband doesn't like comedy shows.
Right.
Big deal.
That's
I'll go to a comedy show without him. Not a problem. I have comedy friends that I could talk to
right.
all day about comedy. Not a big deal. Religion, if it's important to you, if it's important to raise your children like that, politics, you're not going to get on each other's side. You're not going to convince each other. Just have what you have. If you could live with someone who doesn't have your politics, that's fine. If they could live with it too.
Right.
But things arise and you will get into argument over it. My husband and I see eye to eye on both those things, religion and politics. It's very healthy.
Mm.
Um, and I think it makes the relationship stronger because you both have an understanding of, because politics never was important to me until now. Now that I'm a mother and I have a relationship and I see the world for what it is, politics does get involved in my everyday life. So I do need to understand
Mm.
politics more. I never used to think that, but now I realize that it is very important to me. As a Jew, I see a very big deal about, politics. I need to be protected. I need my children to be protected more than me. So I need to know if my politics is going to take care of that. Is my country safe? Is my everything safe? Is my religion safe? So I need to know if I have that freedom. And to me, everybody's coming from a different place and a different time. People should respect everybody's politics for what it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with
Yeah.
it, but if you are coming from a place where maybe abortion is taboo for you because you think it is killing somebody, respect that. Somebody thinks it's killing, or if somebody doesn't think it's killing, respect that. Maybe they don't see it the way you do.
Respect is definitely a foundation
It's a lost art.
for
It's a lost art.
relationships. And when I say relationships, is the relationship to society, the relationship to your friends, the relationship to your partner, any relationship, like just being here on this planet. I mean, having respect, having self-love, having empathy, those things could literally heal the
Yeah,
world.
I
But
used to visit the sick in hospitals, and
oh yeah.
they don't really allow it anymore because of COVID. But back in the day, I would visit the sick, and they would request for me to come back because I made them laugh. I didn't know I was doing it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a comedian back then. But what I did was I was talking to them before I would walk in. There's a way to visit sick people. You walk in, you don't know what news they heard from the doctor. They could be terminally ill, or they could have maybe their daughter called them. They can't visit them, which is a lot of the cases that when I used to go, their kids couldn't come in a snowstorm. They were too far away. I was there to be their
Oh,
daughter for the day. You know what I mean?
oh.
Or for an hour. And so what happens is you have to realize that they may have heard bad news, so they might be very cranky. Don't take it the wrong way. they're hurting more than you are. And besides that, you have to understand that everything that you're coming from, they're not coming from. You don't know what they just heard. So go in with caution and never take it personally, because you can't even stay home if you have a cold for 2 days. Imagine what they're going through in the hospital. So I would make them laugh. I would say,
Oh.
what are you doing? What are you doing at home anyway? You don't have everybody waiting on you hand and foot like you do with these nurses. This is very nice.
Ah,
Like it's a
that's
hotel here and you should
nice.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Aw.
So, you make them feel at ease, and you can always make perspective. Everything is perspective. Perspective is so important. If you have a good perspective, it could change the way you look at everything. That's why when a child is crying, you want to make them laugh for a reason, because you distract them, and now they have a different perspective. And now they can get out of the depression or the crying because they're sad, because now you've given them another way to look at something.
Laughing
That's
for
so
sure.
healthy.
I believe in laughter, like huge,
Yes.
big time,
Yeah.
but also addressing people's feelings. That is so important. And I see it with my sister and my nephew. Like he was like crying,
Yeah.
little boy, and she stayed calm and she was like, "How are you feeling? What's happening with you?" And he would keep crying like, "Oh, this and that," or you couldn't understand him. She was so patient
Right.
until he by himself, just because somebody was addressing his feelings, he calmed down, he hugged my sister, and that was that. How beautiful. I think in how pretty much the majority or a lot of people are raised like is we're nobody's addressing people's feelings, and it's not just kids. As adults, we all need this. Men need this too, and it's not said enough. I vouch for women. I love women, support them, but I also vouch for men. Like there's
I
like
love men.
men have feelings too. Men need to feel safe too. You know how they always say like women need to feel safe for sure. I want to feel safe. Yes. But men do too.
Yeah.
Men have the same feelings as we do. It's just that they're not allowed to talk about them or to process it a
Yeah.
certain way.
Yeah. My husband's an alpha male, and he physically could take anything. He won ultra marathons. He's a world class runner. He climbed Mount Everest. He does a lot of tough things. He runs a business, hundreds of employees. But emotionally, he's not as strong.
Mm.
He's not as strong
And that's
emotionally.
why he needs a strong woman. That's a great, beautiful balance between
I'm the
female
only
and
one
male
who tells
power.
him off. I mean, he's like, nobody ever tells me off, but in his
And he
employees, never.
needs you. That's
But
so
but I
healthy.
tell him, I don't. It's not that I tell him off. I tell him like it is. I'm very blunt. I'm very,
Love that.
I'm very. Be direct with him.
Yeah.
There's a way of saying things. Also, there's a
Yes.
good delivery.
Yeah.
But he really respects me the most, because I really don't shy away from telling him the truth, and that
I love
you
that.
have to do that. You have to do that. That's love.
That's
That's
a
another
gift.
form of love.
And that definitely, I 100%, we think
He
very
doesn't do it
similarly.
too. He doesn't.
That's great.
Let me
That's
say
great.
something. People say, "Oh, he told you you're fat. That's degrading." I go, "No, no, 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 no. Okay, maybe the way he said it, it doesn't matter. But I could decipher it, and I take it as a criticism, but that constructive. Because the truth is, okay, maybe I did. And if he's not attracted to it, maybe I should work on that. So what?
There's a way to say things, right?
Yes.
Like I
Well,
always think if I'm gonna say something that's difficult to someone, I try to think, okay, how would I want to hear it? Like, what's the best way? Um, and what was I gonna say? Piggybacking on what you were saying. Yeah. Oh, I love honesty, like being
yes,
direct.
yes.
In my experience, I've had like
You
people
can't
can't
take
take
it
it,
too much.
and it's like that's why I love New
Yeah.
Yorkers.
Yeah.
They're just direct to the point. I'm like, I'm not born here, but I feel like a New Yorker. I need to work on my coffee accent. I don't.
Where's your country? Where are you from?
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Venezuela
You're
in
going
the
through you're going
house.
through a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. I know that's a lot to unpack, and we have to really. We could learn a lot from them. I'll tell you the truth. We could learn a lot from them. But I tell you, it's so important to be honest with each other and with yourself,
yeah,
and some
with
people
yourself.
offended.
Yeah.
As a comedian, I don't get offended. I really don't.
Yeah,
Really,
we're stronger.
things could sting, but then you think about it. Just like I said, I admitted when I was wrong. I admitted it. So
I was gonna say, oh, being direct to someone, that's a gift. Like somebody's gifting you
yes.
something. I love when people can be honest, direct with me. That's the best. I don't like sugar coating. I like my sugar and my gummy bears. And it seemed like a break for commercial, but we're not sponsored by this cute, delicious gummy
You can have as many as you want. Well, anyway, we're gonna wrap this up because we're gonna go and try to bark on 42nd Street in Times Square and get
Bark.
people to come in to our comedy show. That's tonight at Westside Comedy Club, 8 o'clock for the red carpet and 9 o'clock for the showtime.
I like how you said red carpet.
Carpet.
But like with a New York accent. Red carpet.
I
That's
don't hear it.
no?
No, I don't even hear it.
Do you hear it if I try to do it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
red carpet.
Like if
Oh
I
yeah,
say-
I was like, okay.
All right, say
High five, dummy.
say COFEE. COFFE.
Hold on. COOF?
F.
Oh, coffee. Coffee.
Now say it the way you say it.
Oh, coffee.
All right, I say coffee.
Coffee. Oh,
Like
that
it's like
coffee.
CAWFEY.
I want to have coffee. Oh, that was good. You're like, ah.
I wonder what they're saying. I have no idea what you're.
I don't know. I can't see anything. Let's bring it closer.
Okay, go get your.
I don't sing. I have it. I always sing in podcasts.
Oh, you
I
do?
love singing.
Oh, really?
Is there any questions for us brilliant people? Oh, okay. Let's
She's
see.
on her Instagram live while we're doing a podcast, but what? How could people follow you?
Dominika VS. You guys are already following me, I believe. Dominika VS on Instagram and also Facebook. If you DM me, I'll respond. I like communicating. I like communication. Communication is very important. So if you have friends in New York, please tell them to come to my show. It's going to be so much fun. Brand new material. So can't wait. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. Oh, and I have merch also on my website, Wife's a Bitch Podcast, and this is it's on the front and the back, and it says "Rent a Karen. I'll complain to a manager for you," because that's also a funny joke that I have in my set. But anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up, and we are going to. We're gonna wrap it up, and that's where you could find Dominika. And my website is wifesabitch.com, and my Instagram is
Poetic.
Victoria Makes You Laugh with a YOU. And also, what else did I want to say? I don't know. That's about it.
I think we learned a lot.
I think so.
Hey, I want to say thank you so much,
Thank
Victoria,
you.
for having me in your
Thank you.
podcast. It was super fun. I love doing podcasts because it's like so real. It's always so real.
You live in LA.
Yes, I'm
Right.
based in LA.
She's based in LA, so you can catch her at a comedy show in LA. And what else do you model? What agency are you with?
I mostly do real estate and comedy, some acting. Yeah. Yes,
Brains,
real estate.
beauty, and funny. Triple threat.
If you need someone to
And she's a
represent you,
dancer. You're a
yes,
dancer.
and buying or selling, I'm your person in Los Angeles. So, yeah, follow me and DM me, and I'll help you.
All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. Wife's a Bitch podcast. Take care.